Hi, in this video we'll be going over how to use the Form Builder module. Essentially allows you to create forms. It's a fairly powerful module. So I'll just go into it here. Like always, you can access it via the Modules tab of your Tomahawk Content Management System. So currently I have a test form here. I gave it a name. When you're adding them, you'll have the chance to do this. Showing the show date and hide date, basically when the form was created. And also, you don't have to specify one, but there's a hide date, which basically means that form will disappear off of whatever page you have it embedded on that date, if it's some kind of time-sensitive form. There's the edit button. We'll get into that in just a little bit. Copy. So maybe you're creating a new form and it's somewhat similar to the shipping information form. You can click copy, and it'll create another one, a similar or a copy of it, right? And then you don't have to start from scratch when creating that second or third form. We have the archive button, which essentially, if you click it, it just it gives the form a label, grayed out as archived. You can still edit it and copy it, of course, and it also would group those archived forms together, and you can just unarchive them at any time. So I'll just click OK here, and of course, you can delete the form if you no longer need it. Reports, there's nothing here currently, but essentially, when you're creating the form, I'll show you where in just a little bit, but you have a chance, basically, when the form is filled out, people put their information, name, email address, whatever information you're asking for in that form. If you select Store in Database, basically on the website, it's going to store all the information of the people who filled that out. So, this person, for the name field, put, Bob. For the last name, put this. For the phone number, they put this. And that's going to be a report that you can then export to Excel, right, and see all that information, or view on the website. And you'll be able to see responses, responses since last generated, and if you did have anyone respond to it, there'd be a generate button. So it just means generate all the information ever submitted to this form and make an Excel document of it. So I'll go back to the Manage Forms area here. You can of course click Add a New Form, but in this case I have an example one already ready, so I'm just going to click Edit on it. So you can see here I've already created some fields. There's a lot of stuff you can put in here, and a lot of different form types, or to gather the information. You have things like CAPTCHAs, which is basically this thing at the bottom to prove, to stop spammers from sending information. Like, it'll basically be a human test, if you will. So if I go to my page here, this is just where I have the form embedded currently. You can see right here, it's like, to prove you're human, select G8, right? We have different types of CAPTCHAs as well, but, you don't have to have one, but that's an example of a CAPTCHA. There's some multi-select information, right? So it's drop-downs. I'll show you where all these things come into play, but, the required field, tooltips, so more, additional information, larger text areas, or this one's actually a small one, but it's larger than the other just one-line ones. So you can see this is what the actual form looks like, but this is in the admin area. There's that form. So it just shows examples. It doesn't have everything in there. So if we were to add one, for example, maybe I want to add phone number, and I click add for a new one. I'll put phone number, and here's our different types of labels. Let's see here. So, for mine, you can pick date, select, anything like that. I'll pick phone right there. Is it required? In this case, I'll click yes. And if there's anything that needs to be put in the tooltip, so that's the thing that you hover over when someone's looking for an example. Like, maybe there's a specific format that you want them to follow for, postal code or something else, phone number, no dashes, or put dashes, or just put spaces, or, anything like that. So I'm going to click add here. See, it added the phone number one right underneath here. What you can actually do is if you hold down or click on it and hold down, you can move that phone number field around. So maybe I want it right under email address, so I just dropped it right there. Another form is we could do a date field. So just put date and select date. Some of these you can get away with just putting, say, text, like phone number. That could be text, it's just in there, but they'll have specific functions some of the time. Like email address, email field, it'll check, it'll make sure it has an @ sign. Postal code probably has a certain format that it follows. So the date one will actually have a calendar when I add it, but again, just go through the steps. What's the label that's going to be on the left? Is it required? Is there a tooltip? What kind of, what type is it? Then I'll click add, adds it at the bottom again. So I can go and add that wherever I feel it's most necessary in the form. Let's see here. Okay, and then another example. Some of them have like the drop-down boxes here where you can select. There can be multiple different types of answers, right? Or different selections. Like this one, I can only select one, but there's a multi-select function too, where you can have a drop-down list and select a bunch at the same time. How you fill those in, for an example, would be I'll do checkbox in this case. That's under the multi-select category. And you'll see here it's asking what the values are. Essentially, that's well, what can they multi-select or checkbox? What checkboxes are you going to have, right? So in this case, I'll just say box 1, and you'll see here that it's telling me they're separated by a pipe character, which is created by on your keyboard. You hold down the Shift key and then the backslash key, and it creates a pipe character. So I can create a couple of them if I want, and just in between them, box 2, box 3, and box 4. Just for example purposes. I'll say it's not required in this case, optional. No tooltip required. I'll add the multi-select box. Right, so now it's showing just a little example. Same basic thing for anything else. Maybe they're not allowed to select multiple things, but it's a select drop-down list or a bunch of radio buttons that they can only select one of, something like that. So it's good to just, if you want, feel free to play around and click one and update it and see exactly what that one does. There's the large and small text areas, right? That'll add a larger field. Like this one's small, but the large one would be, maybe 2 times larger. So here I'll just click update. At this point, I'm going to click Update Form. So kind of like I'm saving my changes to the form. Of course, I can always edit individual fields again, like say the city one. I need to go in there and click Edit. Brings me down to the bottom. It's like, okay, what do you want to change, kind of thing. We'll see, since I've updated my form, I'll refresh. Currently, I have it on a page here. I'll show you how you actually get it on a page in a bit, but I have it on a page called Form Builder under Modules. So I'll just refresh this page, and we'll see the changes that I've added. So you can see here it has a date field, right? Special little function, so it lets you specify a specific date or time. There's the multi-select boxes, right? So you can select a bunch of them. If you had the box checkbox but not multi-select, then only one would be checked, or only one's allowed to be checked. Stuff like that. There's the tooltips. There's a required field, which if someone goes to click submit and they didn't fill a required field, of course it'll move them back up and say, no, you need to, please fill in this information. So I'll just go here. You'll see when you're editing a form or creating a new one, you have 3 different tabs here. So the form questions, of course, where we're editing all the questions, stuff like that, updating the form. If you go to post form, essentially it's what happens after someone clicks submit. So here's a couple options. You see, remember at the beginning there was the reports area that I was talking about? This is where you can actually check if you want it to store in the database or store on your website for later downloading, kind of thing. So you check that if you want. Mail to specific email. So if I want, someone fills out the form that I have over here, well then it'll send, an email when you check it. It asks you what the values are, right? So, okay, you want it to send an email. What do you want the subject line to be? I put feedback from website. Put whatever you want. Who's it going to email to? Bob at Tomahawk. Email from Bob at Tomahawk, or it could be anything. It's just, just what it looks like it's coming from. And then the completion text, you don't have to put anything, but essentially when someone's on this form, or this page, right, they go in, they fill in all the information, select everything, click submit, everything's fine, then the form will disappear and the thank you text will appear. And, that's a Seek Editor window, so you can put pictures in there or, other modules or links like I have right here. Anything you want to put in there, maybe more information, stuff like that. So go to the other tab here, form description. See here, form title, so that shows up on the page right here. It's kind of like above, so that's the title right there. Most likely you could leave it blank if you don't want to have it there. Show date, so what date is it going to start appearing on, right? That can be any time in the past. You can just click the date field here to specify. And then hide date, like it says here, you can leave blank if you just want the form visible all the time, right? Or you can put in a hide date and then it'll disappear that, that day that's specified. Whether the form is visible or not, so if you just want to make it hidden when someone goes to the page and just won't be able to see it, then you can uncheck it. Maybe it's for maintenance or something else. The width in pixels, so you can come back here and change it at any time and click update form and then go back to your page, refresh, see if maybe it's maybe too long. Like this one, for instance, the default was maybe 500 pixels, so it went from here to maybe there. So I increased it to whatever I thought was best, which in this case for my website was 730 pixels. But you can feel free to change those values around and click update. You can always go back and fix them. And then right here, it kind of looks like the completion text area, but it's the form description. That's just whatever information shows up underneath the form title right here. And again, that can be links or text or pictures or anything like that. And you can, of course, when you actually add the token on the page, I'll show you in a second how to do that. You can, have text or pictures on the page of the form. That's fine as well. So that's mostly the form builder admin area, but I'll show you how you actually add it on a page. So currently, it's on my form builder page. I've already added it there. What you do is go to the list pages tab. This is basically it's asking me, do you want to leave the page, because it knows I've done some changes. So I can say stay on page and update form, or in this case I'll just leave page. So go to my modules, there's my form builder page, just click edit on it. So here's the token, but if I were to just delete that, it's done right here, insert module token. Most of your modules, that's how you get them on the page. So I'll just click that. And you have the categories, so we'll look for form builder. There we go. So here's my form. It's called shipping information. Click OK. And then now I'll click save changes, and that form will have been added to my page. And again, here you can add, I'll just put text. Click save. You can add anything underneath, above. And if we go back to my page here, click refresh. There we go. You can see the text that I put there, and there's the form displaying. That's why the token's used. Alright, that's the form builder module. Thanks for watching. Bye.